Cuckoo, cuckoo. What's going on, everybody? How is everyone doing today? Let's just see what is going on in the world right now. We can, well, let's just see what I think is very interesting today. Hmm. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, you know what I find fun is this Cardi B story. If you guys haven't been following along with the Cardi B story, Cardi B is going through a nasty, nasty, nasty divorce with Offset. And things just got very interesting because Offset has filed for spousal support, which very interesting move. Um, yes, very interesting. I think I'm trying to see exactly how much he wants, but oh my god. As you would expect, Cardi B is super furious because she's saying that she raises all the kids and Offset has his own money. I mean, they said that Offset's really doing this just to jab at her, and she basically came back and said that she wants him to very slowly. The very interesting thing, though, I find is how much money she spends on raising her three kids. I think the reports are coming out that it's close to $500,000 a year to raise her kids. Insane. She's got three kids. $500,000 a year. Where do people find these jobs? That's what, okay. Literally, that's what I when I see these numbers and think about what it entails. I'm like, "Wh- where do where do we find these jobs? Okay, so she's got three kids, right? It's Couture, spelled with a K, uh, 6 years old. Wave, who's three, and then a little one. Okay. The driver alone gets 10K per month to drive the kids around. That's insane. Well, I don't know. It looks very vague. It says the driver, personal driver, 10K a month. I'm pretty sure there's no way it's $10,000 to just drive the three kids around. It's most likely her driver as well. Okay. Babysitter though, $3,000 a week. Ooh, that's that's good money. Imagine if you were Cardi B's babysitter. 3K a week. Ooh, that's nice. Let's see what else. Um, Tuition, $45,000. Very interesting. What? Let's see what else. Yeah. Okay. Oh, but that's to her cousin though. Interesting. So her cousin babysits them and gets $3,000 a week. And then they have a nanny who gets paid around like $500 to $700 a shift. Okay, this is not including food. She has a personal chef. Oh, she writes it as my the kids have a personal chef. I'm pretty sure it's you know I'm pretty sure it's for the family. Like everyone in the house. Because she's saying there that she pays for the personal chef because she doesn't have time to cook. Okay, let's see. She's got a security team for them. Okay. Yeah, so she's upset that Offset just left and she's not asking for child support or anything from him, but he's coming back and he's coming back to try to get spousal support. This reminds me of like, I don't know of any other cases where the guy actually wins spousal support. The only one that I can remember is Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey. If you guys remember that, I feel like that makes me feel so old. What is Jessica Simpson up to these days? That's what I wonder now. She was so big for a little while. I mean, Jessica Simpson was so big for a little bit. Like, I remember she made millions, and I'm trying to think like what what was her talent? Is what I'm thinking about because I all I know that she got tons of money from. I just remember they had a reality show, and she was a singer actress. Did she act? I don't because I can't think of any movies that she was in. But yeah, the only time I could think about spousal support is the whole Nick Lachey scenario because I remember when I was a kid that was so big that he won spousal support because at the time he was not anywhere near the level of Jessica Simpson. So I don't know. I find this story very interesting. If Offset ends up uh, not around anymore, we all know where to look because she literally said in a big interview that she wants him to go away nice and slowly. I don't know. I find this story very interesting. Cardi B is broke. Is she? Okay. Um, you know what? I was thinking about this too. I thought she was brokey because I remember seeing a while back that she was spending like crazy. I I don't know. Because here's the thing, Cardi B hasn't had a hit in a long time, and money goes away very quickly. So I don't know. I don't know where all that goes. What else is out there that I find super interesting right now? There's that bridge that went down in Ukraine, in Russia. That's super interesting because I'm telling you, I remember yesterday I was saying it was like $50 for those drones, but apparently those drones are like $4,000 a piece. But still, this is what I'm thinking about, right? Is the billions of dollars that we sent over there, right? And they're using our money to buy drones. And I'm kind of like, I want receipts because there's no way that those billions of dollars we sent over there and they buy like little drones with them. I mean, give them their kudos. It's ingenious attack. Russia's Pearl Harbor, but I will want some receipts, y'all. How awkward is that conversation later, though? I okay. You know what I find very interesting about that whole situation, if you guys haven't been following, is that there was the big attack, right? And they took out like millions and billions of dollars of like ships and whatnot, of like aircrafts, and then there were peace talks the following day. How? Oh my gosh! And they said it was only like an hour long. The peace talks, the ceasefire talks. How awkward is that? How awkward. They're like, "Do you guys want peace?" And they're like, "No." I bet you in Ukraine right now, they're feeling unstoppable. They're gonna they're feeling so good right now. It's it almost gives me the vibes of like the New York Knicks. Like they they got to the conference finals and their fans had like the mega celebration. um and it was like riots. They were like tearing down the streets. You know what? That's why they didn't win and make it to the finals. It's because they saw what happened in the streets. If you just make it to the conference finals and you're already rioting, imagine you make it to the finals. New York is over. It's over. That's why they didn't win. So if you're in New York and you're a Knicks fan, this is on you. And if you get a chance, Andrew Schultz put out a great video on his journey to watch the Knicks lose masterclass video. Okay. Oh yes. Oh yes. Okay, I remember this now. She played, but Jessica Simpson in Daisy Dukes. Did that do well? Because I didn't see that movie. I don't know. I didn't see that movie, and I just okay. I'm gonna look it up right now. What is Jessica Simpson's net worth? Because I remember she was, um, she was big time. That's how Nick Lachey was able to um, get the spousal support. Oh my god, dude! Jessica Simpson's net worth is $200 million. I feel like we're all in the wrong business. Where does she get the money from? What does she do? I know she made songs. It says here that she made millions from an album. Okay, okay, dude. Dukes of Hazard grossed over $111 million globally and earned a lot. What? What? Ah! Standards? Okay. It gives seeing all this gives me no hope for the future, to be honest, because standards were so low back then. Like, I feel like at least for me, I feel like I wasted a good chunk of my life because now that I'm thinking back, you just need one hit song. Do you like sometimes this happens to me a lot. Like I turn on the radio and I hear like a one hit wonder kind of song, like it's just like a one off. And like I'm listening to the instrumentals and I'm listening to the lyrics and I'm listening to like the how it's put together. And I think to myself, it doesn't seem that hard. Like, do you get this feeling sometimes? Music doesn't like putting together a pop song doesn't seem that hard. Like I, one of the things is like music is so subjective. I'm trying to teach my kid about this because sometimes what we do is on Friday we have Spotify, and Spotify has like a new music Friday thing. And what I like love to do with her is when it's Friday, we kind of listen to all the new music that comes out, and how Spotify ranks it. I guess is by priority. The Knicks beat themselves, dude. There's so much we can talk about the Knicks situation. But I have her listen to the music, right? And we just kind of rate the songs. They're like, "Oh, what do you think about this song? What do you like about? It? What do you don't like about?" It? And as I'm listening to the songs that are coming out, I'm like, "Music seems so easy." I feel like you just need one, right? It's like the Spider-Man meme. You just need one. Everyone gets one. How about that's our new Social Security. Everyone works on a song, and everyone releases a song, and if it does well, that's it. That's all you need. I can't believe that Jessica Simpson's made around $200 million. That's her net. That's what they're estimating her net worth at. That's crazy. Oh my god. I feel. I don't know. That makes me so depressed. Exactly. She can't sing. She can't act. But $200 million. That's what I'm saying. Standards were so low back then. Because I feel like if you transport a lot of people to today's age, like if you had Jessica Simpson in today's age, she would flop. Flip, I don't know. Ooh, okay. El Malo, you got me thinking about the Snow White girl. We can go talk about that real quick. Because it's been popping up on my feed quite a bit that she's joining the OnlyFans, and I'm trying to figure out like what do I think about this because in a way she also killed her career, but I don't know, I just don't know. Oh, what also makes you very sad is that bad baby, but the Cash Me Outside girl. like where she's at in life, and whatnot. That also makes me super sad. Like I have no idea what to feel about that either, because hearing the story that she made like what was it, like $1 million in one day or something, from the minute she turned 18, on OnlyFans or whatever. That is also super depressing. Like it is a super depressing thing, to see, because I have a kid and I think about the future, right? What is it going to look like later? And like there's AI, and then there's this OnlyFans path that I feel like, that you can always take. You know what? There needs to be a guy's version. I know guys can go on OnlyFans, right? There need to be a guy's version of this. You gotta eat. You want equality? We need to equal the playing field. Okay, there's no way that you can become a failed actor and be like, you know what, f this. I'm gonna go be an OnlyFans guy. Like there, there's no equivalent. That's someone make this a thing. I'm trying to put this together. I mean, in a way, can can it work from jail? Like, I don't know. Beats are sampled and recycled requires permission for the original artist. Okay, that's very true. Um, oh, that gets me thinking about Jewel. If you guys don't know the story of Jewel, what is Jewel's net worth? Because I remember the story of Jewel. Um, she owns all of her. She's actually one of the. She owns all her masters or something. Like I always found her story very interesting. I just want to see what is her net worth today. Oh, 14 million. Okay, never mind. I just remember something about the Jewel story where she came up from like nobody coffee shops, and everyone wanted to sign her. Everyone wanted to sign her, and then she kept like pushing it off, and then they're like they gave her all the rights or something, and then she finally signed on for less money, and then but she owns all her music, and then boom boom. Oh, yes, but that's what I'm saying. Beats are sampled, but I remember there's a thing where it's like 20, 30 years or something. That's why when we were growing up in the 90s, when I was growing up in the 90s, they used samples from songs in the 70s. And now that it's later, they're sampling songs from. I'm sure that there's someone that might know more about the copyright laws, but I remember there's something about that. That's why in the 90s they used samples from songs in the 70s. And then now that we're older, they're using samples that are more relatively recent to us. If you're in my age bracket, who's joining OnlyFans? Um, the What's her name? Rachel Zegler. That's the name that's on the top of my head. She's the one that's from the new Snow White. If you don't know the story, she did Snow White. It floppity flopped like crazy. People hate her, and I believe self she killed her own career by what she said on social media. I'm not 100% sure what she said. I just know people hate her a lot. And she could be blacklisted from Hollywood now. And this is the path. And I don't know. I personally hate it. I find it gross, that there's this thing where they kind of do that, and I don't understand. I actually don't understand OnlyFans at all. I just don't get it. I don't get like the subscription model. I don't get why you need to pay. um I just don't get it. Bad Baby made money off the reciprocals of her catchphrase. You think so? I You know what's crazy? Dr. Phil should get a piece of everything Bad Baby. Dr. Phil is that baby's father. They need to go on one. They need to go on his show, and they need to take on this paternity test. And it's like you're the father because this is his fault that she's out there. Did you know that she's got, dude? You're going to create only mandingos. Hmm. Where do we want to go with this? Only mandingos. Very interesting. The issue I have with that is that you're not being very inclusive because how are the Asians gonna be? How are the Asians like? Okay, just imagine. Okay, just come along with me. Just imagine you're scrolling along, right? And you're on Only Mandingos, right? And then you're seeing Mandingos, and then you see an Asian one pop up, and you're like, ugh. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. But how am I supposed to get on there, huh? How am I supposed to make money on Mandingos? Oh, that's that's the name, Mandingos. It's almost like Fandingos. If you guys remember that, they had that. It's almost like a Netflix. That went away. But yeah, how am I supposed to get on there? You're not being very inclusive. Okay, it's 2025. Well, I guess it's 2025. DEI is dead, so I guess, I guess I, I guess I'm not allowed on there. I don't know. Yeah, one thing that's very interesting about DEI, um, is that you don't see Asians talk about DEI because we're included in that part where, I don't, where it works against us. Like just a little like thing about it. I think it was always very funny about universities is that the Asians want to get rid of all that like they just want to they want to get rid of the diversity stuff because it wasn't fair. I always thought that was super interesting because one of the ways that affirmative action is being fought in university level is through Asians because you have to score like a gajillion percent on the SATs and have your GPA must be a 6, like something insane, and then they were like, "Nah, not you. We want this guy." And they're like, "What? I have a 6.0 GPA." And they're like, "How'd you get a 6?" And they're like, "You don't want to know what I did to get a 6. You don't want to know what did we had to do to get a 6.0 GPA because it's not even possible. That's how hard I worked." And they're like, "No, I want this guy right here." Anyways, we're getting off topic. We're getting off topic. You're steering this in a weird way. We're gonna steer it back. Where do we want to go with this? Because I don't want to go there. We're you're steering the conversation in a weird way with your only mandingos. Um, where do we want to go now? I don't know. I kind of like going back to the idea about the drones. Okay, but artists make money off the remixes as well. But as a I'm talking about as a fan, I don't care for remixes. I like oh, okay. Speaking of remixes, then okay, you got me going now. Now I think about this. The only remix that I really really like is the R. Kelly remix to Ignition. That is still. I saw a video the other day of a wedding, and on the phone at the wedding was R. Kelly. Like you can pay to have R. Kelly sing at your wedding from prison through the phone. That's crazy. And did you know R. Kelly is actually still he's making new music in jail? Like the R. Kelly story is actually also very interesting. The level that this guy climbed up to, and he doesn't even know how to read. That's crazy. He's put together so many songs, and he doesn't even know how to read. And again, I don't want to keep bringing up the Asian thing, but for me to see that, I'm like, why do I even need to go to school? Like this guy, what is R. Kelly's net worth? What is R? Let's look that up too. R. Kelly net worth. I mean, it's gotta be super low now because he's in jail. But okay. What is he? What are we at? Oh, -2 million. Oh no. Robert. Oh, Robert. That's too bad. But the only remix, like I said, that I really like, that at least at the top of my head, when you say remix, okay, think about this. When you say remix, the first song that pops on top of your head is the best remix that you can think of. So when you say remix, first one, Ignition by R. Kelly. P. Diddy and his teachers screwed that myth. We can talk about P. Diddy case. The last update I got for P. Diddy is that the Mia, his ex-assistant. Oh, I mean, this in a way ties into R. Kelly. Okay, so you guys don't know, Mia, alleged victim number 4, said that in a text message that she sent to Diddy, that she was having a dream that she was being, I believe, like taken away. Um, I'm paraphrasing because I don't know exactly what the text said. I just know the gist of the text itself. But basically, she had a dream that R. Kelly was basically taking her away or doing something with her. And in her dream, P. Diddy came and saved her. And then so she texts all this to Diddy. Uh, and this is after she's accused him of forcing himself on her. So the defense was like, allegedly. Let's throw all it again out. Allegedly, supposedly, claiming, uh, you know, just throw it all out there again. Allegedly, uh, that she forced him, he forced himself on her. And the defense was like, why would you send these texts like this to him? And like she was texting him like happy birthday, blah blah blah. And her defense is that she was brainwashed by Puff Daddy. Now, I don't know about this because the defense asked her a bunch of times about different things, and her main rebuttal to all of them was that she was brainwashed. And I was thinking, like, dang, Puff Daddy's like Hypnotoad or something. Like, you just look into him, and he's like, "Bzzz." That's crazy. So we're gonna tie it together. That's the R. Kelly P. Diddy tie-in, that his assistant had a dream that he saved her from R. Kelly. That's very interesting. Oh, okay. Affirmative action destroyed businesses. Okay, I was talking about this yesterday. That Target is really feeling it right now because they went hard into the DEI stuff. And like, because I remember going to Target and I get kind of like, ugh, you know what I mean? Like sometimes the stores go too hard into the DEI stuff, and it's like, I don't have any hate for anything, but sometimes I'm kind of like, okay, it's enough. I get it. Uh, and my stance has always been, I don't care, right? Like, and I'm pretty sure most Americans, most people, that's literally the thought process, right? Because if you guys don't know, I'm in California, but I'm in a very red area of California. And the general reaction that I get when I talk to these people about this kind of stuff is that literally it's always, I don't care as long as you don't, you know, try to push it on me. Nobody cares. So I think that's the thing that's been bothering a lot of people over the years. I mean, what's also very interesting, right? This came out like 2 or 3 days ago. uh, Jojo Siwa. If you guys don't know who she is, I believe she was on. I know she was on Dance Moms, and then she did some Disney stuff. Did she do Disney stuff? I just know that she was on Dance Moms a long time. She was on one of the early seasons of Dance Moms, and I know she's a singer because my kid likes some of her music, and I know she's a dancer. But do I remember? Was she on Disney stuff too? I'm just curious, what show was she on? I guess she did a few shows. I don't know. She's like a child actress, actress person, right? And she came up, right, and then she was, I think, bi for a little bit, and then she went full on scissory, you know, like she was in between. Then she went to one side of the fence. And what I find very interesting though is that now that a lot of it's getting out of fashion to be flip floppy. She is back to being regular, I guess. Which uh, I find it just very convenient. I don't know. It could be a real thing, or it just could be timing. I don't know. I just find it very convenient that she's back with guys, and the pictures that are coming out are a little wild too. So I don't know. It just seems very staged that now that it's out of fashion. Because here's my thing: if you're, uh, I always feel like if you're about the, whatever you want to do, you got to do. But I just feel like if you're really into that and you start like getting a microphone and you start like screaming at people to like change, but then you change down the road, no, that's messed up. If you're gonna start screaming at people to like, this is my life now, and this is what I want to do, at least be committed. I think that's the thing. I think yesterday I saw the video about the athlete that now has to. That's crazy. Okay, the athlete is in between and moving to the other side, right? Uh, Guy to girl that way, guy to girl way, and that's messed up. Okay, because it's not fair for the girls. But so guy to girl, and then now it's got oh my god, it's got it's got its own category. I'm trying to be as neutral as possible. And so is she is no longer, I just call her Hernandez, is no longer competing against girls or competing against guys. Hernandez got his own category. She's own category, whatever. So automatic first place win um, in the championships, which I find crazy. Man, like that's crazy because that's the most unearned. You can't go one of one. That's There's no second place, third place, nothing. Just one of one. But my comment about that is, I would love to see. I think it's great. I would love to see more transitioning athletes then, and they all compete in that category. And when competition gets fierce, are they still gonna stay or are they gonna go back? That's a real test to see if they really mean it or not. Or if you are going to the other side and you're doing sports, I feel like you need to be committed. There's no flip flop. Okay, if you're doing sports and you're moving to the other side, that's great. I want to see some commitment. You know what I mean? because you can't be in between. And but I get it, because here's the hard part though. I guess I understand their position where they're just starting and it takes time, because I do see that it's very hard to wake up one day and decide that you want to move to the other side and just go "Whoosh, whoosh." Because I guess that's the part where you start testing it out and you're like, do I really want to do this? And then you start changing your clothes a little bit, you know? You just like you you're like, do I want to do this? And you change your clothes and then your friends are like, you look great. That because that's the other thing that I saw. Like I said, this is an open discussion on the internet, okay? Someone can educate me. I saw this thing where they said a lot of people move to the other side is because they feel seen. Like their friends praise them for it. They're like, "Oh, you're so good, you're so brave." But and then they go, "Oh, you like that feeling? Like, oh my gosh, everyone thinks I'm important now." And then you keep on going, you keep on going. But then here's the thing that always makes me chuckle is you keep on going, but always the last step is the part, you know? And it's because that's the part where you're like, you really do some soul searching and think about it. Because once you do that, it's basically permanent. So that's where you do the real soul searching. Because a lot of times, um, they you tip your toes in and then you're like, oh, this is nice. And then you're like, you know what? I want to start doing some sports. I'm gonna do swimming now. Right? And you start winning and it feels good. You're like, this is great. My friends are telling me that I'm doing great and I'm winning all these events, like things you're feeling great. And then everyone in the world's telling that you need to do the last part. And you're like, I don't know. Oh, no, I totally agree with you, dude. Like, it, a lot of times, because I was thinking about this too, where like, it's this was not a thing when I was growing up. It's a recent thing, which is very interesting. Yeah, I just find that's very interesting. It's a recent thing. I guess it's because when I was growing up, bullying was a big thing. Because if you tried to do that back in the early 2000s, 90s, yeah, early 2000s, 90s, that time period, 80s, whatever, um, you would have got stuffed in a locker. That's literally that's literally what would happen because I think bullying is just different now. It's like online secretive bullying that's going on now. So maybe that's the other thing we need to bring back bullying because bullying is how you get Apple. Bullying is how you get Tesla. If you examine Elon, you can tell that he was a kid that got bullied a lot. You could just tell. You look at Elon and you're like, if you really break down what he's all about, he's about being accepted, and you could I don't know. Maybe there's a maybe there's a I wonder if there's like a little like has he ever done like a memoir thing where he kind of reflects on his life? I just want to see what's the level of bullying he's had in his life. But then again, he doesn't have the same life experience life that I guess a regular person would have because he grew up with money and access. So I mean that's a little bit different. But you still experience bullying. I mean, bullying from like rich people is a different level of psychological pain. I don't know. I'm trying to think what is worse. To get bullied by a kid that like doesn't have much and they bully you because they bully you, or being bullied by someone that's like more well off and they kind of bully you to do long-term psychological damage. They're like, "Oh, you're so poor. This peasant can't even afford new shoes." That kind of bullying where you're like, "Oh, I guess like you never well, maybe that's what gave him the drive. uh, I don't know, because what doesn't get talked a lot about anymore is that gamer story with Elon. That is such a weird thing. Like that was such a weird moment in Elon's life that he paid some guy to uh game for him, for basically build up a video game character, and then he took all the credit for it. And then everyone started believing that he was one of the world's best at this game. And I was like, this is such a random thing that to be boasting about. Because if he wanted to pay money to be a high level at that game, like it's perfectly understandable. He's got like no time to be playing this video game, but he he passed it off like he was the one doing it. That was weird. Why did he do that? And then did you guys see that interview that he did after he decided to leave? Oh, he didn't decide. It was time for him to go. I think that's the part where the media makes it really weird that they're saying that he got kicked out. It was literally time for him to go. He had to go. There was limits on how long he could be there. But after he left, he did an interview, and it was the weirdest interview ever because he seemed like a shell of himself. It seemed really odd because when I think of Elon, I think about like internet troll. Like he's literally the embodiment of internet troll culture. And usually you have a little bit of thick skin when you're like engaged in that kind of like life. But the interviewer was asking him questions about like a little bit about politics, and he was like, "Oh, um, can we not talk about that right now? Like I thought we were going to have a fun conversation about space and rockets and stuff." And then the interviewer was confused, like, "Oh, um, okay." Like I don't know. I thought that was really strange. Yeah, no, the media on both sides for everything right now is the crazy, the craziest that's ever been. Like I hate, um, you know what media that I listen to because their information is very. I like their information, but I don't like the way that they talk sometimes. Is the Midas Touch media? They're like the left. I didn't even know they're the biggest podcast right now. But their stuff pops up on my feed sometimes, and what I don't like about how they cover news is that because I do like that they cover it from the left side because I like to see like a little bit of it, and I like to see like the news from different angles. That's at least how I was taught in school. Uh, I always I always appreciate my social study middle school social studies teacher. This was before social media. This is before the media went crazy and started going left and right and whatever, right? He taught us to read the same story from different sources and compare. You know what I mean? Like, this is like, let's just, I don't know, Joe Biden falling down the stairs story, you know, and or the Joe Biden robot clone story is like left, like you read it from a left side, read it from the right side, maybe read it from more different news source, and then put them all together, read them all again, and then see what's the differences and what you like from both, you know, like from the different parts, and then make your own opinion. So that's I appreciate my social studies teacher back in 6th grade making us do that. So that was great. But what I don't like about Midas Touch is they do this thing where they're like, the pathetic Donald Trump did this thing like an idiot today. And I'm like, dude. All right, hold on. I got a phone call. I got to mute for 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Looks like I only have 5 minutes left, and I gotta go because I gotta pick up my mother-in-law. She's done with tennis, and I gotta pick her up. But yeah, so I like to see the different news from different sides. I like to see what Midas Touch is talking about because I like the way that they cover like they at least they give me the story. But I don't. I hate it when they go the pathetic failing Trump administration, blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh, can you just leave that part out and just tell me what's going on? Because yeah, I don't know. I don't like that because at the end of the day, what I always think about is that we're all in America together. And if he goes down, we all go down. That's literally what I think about a lot when I see them do that. Because in a way, you want you want them to succeed. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter who's in power. You want them to succeed. You don't want them to fail because if they fail, guess what? We fail. So I don't know. That's what I have to say about that. I don't like it when you bash America as a whole that way because we're all in this together in a way, and we're all gonna go down. Well, I mean, we'll see how the trade war goes, because that's gonna impact us all. I mean, Coca-Cola is leaving us, dude. All right, I gotta go. Thanks for hanging out. Um, thank you, thank you. I'll see you guys a little bit later.